Blaine? His name is Blaine? Oh, that's a major appliance. That's not a name.
And now, it's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mosette, and here's your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, Mosette, and welcome 12s to episode 410 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show as your Seattle Seahawks get ready to take on the San Francisco 49ers. So sit back, relax, grab a desired beverage or scent of your choice, and remember, there's no place like home. Let's meet the posse for this episode. First, from merry old England, my partner in crime, the yin to my yang. Welcome, Matt. Hi, Matt.
Good morning, Moses. Good morning. How are you?
The kids are here. We're doing great, Matt. How are you doing?
Well, do you know what? I'm all right, actually. I'm pretty good. I've had better weeks, but we're struggling on through. We'll be fine.
That's okay, because it's early. Remember that. It's early.
It is early.
And for you right now, it's very early. But
it's yes.
Also on our posse from the state of Washington, our very own news hound, his 12th man editorials can be found on the SeahawksSal.com website. You know him as Shadowhawk. We know him as Will. Hi, Will.
Hi, Moses.
How's your week been, Will?
Better than last week. Feeling better, finally, and I'm thankful that I didn't spend the money to go down to catch the Hawks game in L.A., so...
Yeah, I think... I think there's a few of us that are kind of thankful about that. So, and also, someone who's always thankful from the state of Washington, a man among taller men. We call him Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Screw you, Dennis.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
And we're off.
Can you feel the love?
Oh, yes. You always feel the love on this show. And we are going to...
sensation?
Yeah, and we are going to press through what happened last week, but we'll have to press through that, but we will. We were talking about the 49ers this week, too, so that's always a great show, especially, as you noticed in our opening, when you're talking about Blaine. And when you're talking about Blaine, you can only get this remark with Blaine Gabbard.
Blaine? His name is Blaine? Oh, that's a major appliance. That's not a name.
Good old Ducky will be making an appearance a lot on this show. So let's get to it. The shows are like a real NFL football game. 4 quarters at halftime. Quarter 1 will be news. Quarter 2, we discuss the Seahawks-Rams game. And we have a special Caption That Picture and look at how we fared in last week's predictions. Halftime's the best Seahawk theme to play along game on the internet. It's 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And Dustin is looking for a three-peat.
That is the plan.
Oh, amazing.
Goodness me.
I know. Quarter 3, we're going to prepare you for the upcoming game between the Seahawks and the 49ers with a lot of information. And in quarter 4, I'm going to have a special 49er flavor top 3. And we're going to make our predictions, prognostications, and game balls for that 49er game. Before we start, please like, share, subscribe, Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join us on our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Also on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. Email, 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com. And before we get started, I do this week have a very brief shout-out.
Hey, can I do a shout out? Shout out. Shout out. Shout out. Shout out. Shout out. Shout out. Shout out.
A shout out to fill-in posse member, Team 12 prediction teammate, listener of the show, and all-around good guy, Tom Lucas, who on the day of this broadcast underwent shoulder surgery. That's hard to say. Shoulder surgery. So, Tom, I know you're listening. We here at the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, of course, want to send out our very best wishes for a speedy, quick, painless recovery. Best wishes, Tom. We're thinking of you, buddy.
We are, because our Facebook account has never been so quiet. So, did you come back? You're slacking. You can only get a couple of days off.
Come on, Tom.
Feel better,
Tom is a regular on
Get
the
well
on the
soon,
Facebook
man.
page.
Get well soon.
Yes, absolutely. So, all right, Tom. Good. Get well soon. And while you're sitting there recovering, let's go to the first quarter with Shadowhawk and, of course, the news. Yes, news while you're out buying Color Rush jerseys. It's the 12-Man Fan Jam Show News Report with Shadowhawk. Will, what you got for us?
Well, Moses, the Browns are off to an 0-2 start this year, surprising absolutely nobody. And they're down to their third-string quarterback, third-round rookie Cody Kessler. And yet, they seem to have a good attitude about this sort of thing. They're working very hard. They have not given up yet. Kessler has told reporters that he's staying in the facility until 10 o'clock every night. But fellow teammate Terrell Pryor may have him beat. He told reporters when asked whether he could play quarterback for the Browns if necessary, he said, quote, "For this city, for the coaching staff that worked their butts off, and my teammates, I will do anything for us to win. Anything. Cut my finger off, do whatever I have to do." So let's hope that it doesn't come to that, Terrell.
God, Terrell Pryor, cutting a finger off. Do you think he would actually, Matt, would you cut your finger off for your team to win?
Which finger? Because some fingers are worth more than others. I can do a lot more with my middle finger than I can with my little finger.
It reaches farther. So.
Hey, I did find this, guys, real quick. You talked about them being positive. I did find when they come out on the field next Sunday, the next home game, if it's a Sunday or next Sunday, I don't even know, nor do I really care. But when they come out, they're going to play this over the speakers. Are you ready?
Always look on the bright side of life.
Everybody.
I love it.
Always look on the bright side of life.
But the Browns have got. He's got no. He must be under immense pressure because what did you say? Third string quarterback. Because the Patriots are on their 42nd string quarterback, and they're still winning. So the Browns must be under enormous pressure.
Oh God.
Very true.
I saw this NFL meme came out. I think it was yesterday or the day before that said Bill Belichick and the NFL were going to participate in the Make-A-Wish Foundation by having Belichick coach the Cleveland Browns for a game so they could win.
I can't wait for that press release. And I cut off all their limbs.
So, Will, what would you do for a win?
Well, I'd cut off a finger, maybe not my own, but...
Great answer.
Nice. Dustin, what would you do for a Klondike bar?
What wouldn't I do, I think, is the question.
Oh, yikes. Okay. All right. Woo! Well, Terrell, he's a receiver, so if he cut off his finger, he wouldn't be able to catch the ball. That's not really helping your team. Okay, I don't know. All right. Well, thank you, Terrell Pryor, for being such a strong sacrifice for the Cleveland Browns, because don't be surprised if they're 0-8. You might have to go to a surgeon. Will, what else you got for us?
Well, I'm swinging over to another 0-2 team, this one being the Washington Redskins. And things aren't as sanguine in our nation's capital. After losing their first two games, multiple offensive players have begun to complain about quarterback Kirk Cousins, complaining about a lack of decisiveness, erratic play, and confusion, which is probably only made worse by the fact that he's playing under a $20 million franchise tag this year. When the source was asked whether the players who are griping would prefer Colt McCoy, their backup, he said, quote, "At least he'd play with poise."
Oh!
But it gets worse in Washington because if you ask former Redskin offensive lineman and former Seahawk offensive lineman Tyler Columbus, he thinks the problem is in the front office. Telling the Washington Post, quote, "You know what the problem is? The front office out there doesn't set the standard. I honestly feel like 70% of the leaks come from the front office out there. So then a guy comes out and starts complaining behind the scenes, and it's like, well, what are you going to do? Because we all know that half the leaks are coming from the front office, so maybe you guys can shut your mouth up there, and we'll shut our mouth down here."
Has he got a contract review coming up anytime soon?
Well, he's not with the Redskins anymore, so he's safe.
Didn't he discover America, Tyler Columbus? Is that is that right?
Something
I'm a little
about
shaky on my history.
I didn't pay
like
attention.
That. Yeah. So they're not on the bright side of life. They should take a note from the Cleveland fans, because apparently they're a little bitter about being 0-2.
Yeah, I don't hear Kirk Cousins talking about cutting off his own finger. So.
No, I don't. He's not saying, "Do you like that?" either, which that whole thing was just, to me, I don't know how you guys felt about, oh, wow, that was really great what he said, but you like that? You like that? All I saw was a drunk frat boy at a party coming out of a bedroom screaming that. That's every time I see that, I think he's like some drunk frat boy, and I just don't like it.
It was entertaining, but
Yeah, I guess-
I don't think I'd want my starting quarterback doing that.
No, I wouldn't either. I don't know. I don't think he likes it right now, apparently. See, that's another thing. Every time I lose now, people are going to scream, you like that? You like that? Because you kind of brought that on yourself, man.
Pretty much, yeah. I would do it.
Yeah, see? We all would do it. We'd hold a sign up, 0-5, you like that? You know, or 0-2, you like that? Well, that's a shame about Washington, because, you know, I mean, I was planning on them sucking this year, so, you know, I guess they're going to...
Well, you know, there's so much harmony and togetherness in Washington, D.C. right now. You hate to see the sports team having so much trouble.
Right.
Oh, man, isn't that the truth? Let's not go into that. My God. But, you know, two different teams going 0-2. Cleveland fans are used to it. Hey, we're 0-2. We're going to the game. Maybe they'll win. Maybe they won't. I don't know. Who cares? We're having fun. And then
Pass the beer.
Yeah, we're just happy football's here. And then Washington's all bitter and angry. That's funny. It's two different 0-2 teams. And, of course, we have the team that's 1-1 that everyone screams about. Oh, my God, they're 1-1. The world's going to end. So we have that, too.
And that's just the Seahawks fans, apparently.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Because everybody else, I mean, there's only, 3 teams that are 2-0 in the NFC, and that's it. I mean, the
Including
Giants.
none in our division.
Including one of them who has Sam Bradford at quarterback, and we all know how that's going to end. I mean, come on. We're used to that game.
He's not hurt yet?
Yeah, 7-9, here they come, right? So, but I'm not concerned about them being 1-1. Dustin, are you worried about the Seahawks being 1-1?
No, I'm not worried about it. No, I prefer them obviously to be 2-0. But I think last year they started 0-2, didn't they? Or 4-4 or something like. Yeah, they started not too well. And the year before, I think it was a similar thing. It was like 1-1 or 2-2 to start the season. So that's just kind of what they do.
That is kind of what they do, man.
Yeah.
That is kind of what they do. Well, sadly, they are, at this point, they are 1-1, and we will have to talk about why they're 1-1 coming up right after this. Will, thank you for the news.
Anytime.
All right, let's end the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
Coming up on this episode of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Lots of show left. Halftime trivia. But coming up next, we have to quickly talk about that Seahawks-Rams game. And we're going to caption a picture. So we'll be right back after this.
Well,
and now it's time for a 60-second rant.
you know you make me wanna
Rant.
I don't want to get off on a rant here.
Hey everybody, Statsman Mark coming at you after a brutal and bitterly disappointing loss to that infernal noise that is the LA Rams. And really what stood out to me quite a bit about this game was our game plan offensively, which did not include what worked so well for us in the second half of last season, and that was quick passing plays, slant routes, whatever you want to call them, that would allow Russell Wilson to get the ball out of his hands a whole lot quicker than what happened on Sunday. Some of that's on RW trying for the home run. He typically will do this when the team is lackluster and not moving the ball well, and that's understandable. But you know, we have a new offensive line up front. I'm okay with having new guys up front. And you have a gimpy RW who again is looking to hit a home run, when really what I think we needed was to establish early momentum. And after one quarter, you just got the feeling this game was going to drag on and on and on, and it did. And so I just really would have liked to have seen us go back to what worked well last year, get early momentum, and get us out of this field position battle, which we lost all afternoon. And this came down to kicking field goals. And when your defense, who did a stellar job again, when you hold an opponent to 9 points total, your offense has to be able to score 10 to win the game.
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
Yes, welcome to the second quarter of episode 410 of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. It's time to review last week's Seahawk loss from the Rams 9-3. And Will, as you heard, Mark shared that he felt quick passes seemed to be missing from the offensive game plan and they would have been helpful. That's what Mark said. What are your views offensively about this game that we had in Los Angeles?
Well, views that I can express in polite company. Well, Tyler
No, with
Lockett
us.
was fun to watch, even when he's not getting called for bogus pass interference penalties. But seriously, this offensive performance was just the perfect storm of suck. I mean, if you had any doubts about Russell Wilson's value to the rest of the offense, seeing what the Rams could do when he was hobbled by that ankle should dispel them. I mean, in past Rams games, they'd have their defensive ends playing contained and have their success rushing up the middle. This time they could rush with all four linemen, and our motley crew up front could not do a damn thing about it. It's a tribute to Wilson, what he was able to accomplish. It's a tribute to Lockett that he was able to come back and break for that long reception later on in the game. But it's just, we got the Rams at a bad time. It could not have been a worse timed game for us to go down there.
Yeah, even though, I mean, and we'll talk about this later, but, as bad as it was, you're driving in the fourth quarter, you're at the 30, and you're looking pretty decent, moving the ball pretty well there at the end again. But yeah, I absolutely love the phrase "perfect storm of suck." That should be, you should copyright that right now, Will, because that was amazing.
Oh, thank you. But I feel bad. I feel bad for Kristen Michael. I mean, after all he's done this preseason, the regular season to date. And he wasn't being careless with the ball. It was just a good defensive play. But the last guy you want to see fumble to lose the game. Yep. And I wanted them to overturn that call just so Alec Ogletree would have to run all the way back onto the field with the ball before they could play again.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been funny.
Yeah, that would have been pretty funny. Yeah, offensively it was just wow. I can say it really is wow. And in the yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, my biggest take from that, aside from the atrocious offensive line play, was that Russell Wilson's ankle was really bothering him more than we thought, and it wasn't so much in the scrambling around that I was noticing it. Yeah. It's the deep balls that he was throwing early in the game, or for most of the game, other than that one to Tyler Lockett, really, were all underthrown. Yeah. He couldn't plant and push off his foot, so he couldn't throw the ball where he needed to.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, he's hurting way more than I thought he was. I hope that does not continue, because that's a real bad thing for us if it does.
I agree, and I hope, and I don't know, he was fine in practice last week, and he's going to play this week. It isn't even an option or a question, but I hope we're going forward on the healing process of that foot and not making it worse where it's going to be.
He's not even on the injury report this week.
See?
So.
Yeah.
So I hope that, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we get, we're not making it worse by playing on it, but
I think it absolutely will, though. It's one of those things that if you don't rest it, it's just going to continue to nag all season. You're almost doing them a disservice at this point, because you're going to get them killed if they're not careful. Almost better letting the rookie in there that has some wheels, because he can at least defend himself by running.
Well, and
I can't do that.
No, and this is the first time I've really had legitimate fear for Russell Wilson at quarterback right now. I'm worried he's going to be dismantled against a good defense, and we have a lot of good defense coming down the road. And that's a real concern. I agree. But Dustin, what about defensively in this game? I mean, again, 2 straight great showings by this defense, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at overall, as far as how many points they're giving up, they're doing great. But it's with the offense playing the way it is and the defense being what it's supposed to be, one of the best in the league. Well, obviously one of the best in the league, one of the best ever, like they like to try and be. You got to step up in big moments, and they really haven't been doing that. They gave up a long drive and a touchdown in Miami when Seahawks needed to stop. And in this game here, with like 6 minutes left, they gave up a 10-play, 47-yard drive with 2 minutes off the clock that started on the Rams' 11. And that put us, that shift in field position put us on the 12-yard line, which really had an effect on the game. So, and 0 turnovers still. So overall, they're playing great, but we really need them to step up right now, because it's a team sport, but 1/3 of that team is not performing. So we need defense and special teams to step it up.
Chicken and the egg question here, Matt, because when he says that, I agree with him. And yet, one thing that both of those things he mentioned from those 2 games have in common is they're late in the fourth quarter, where if your offense is going 3 and out, you're getting gassed a little bit. So is it the offense not helping the defense out and the defense getting tired, or is the defense just folding late in the fourth? What do you think?
I don't think our defense is falling late in the fourth. I think what's happening is more a case of our offense give the defense plenty of time to be able to get its breath back and get back out there to be effective. I don't think it's a case because at the end of the day, there's no TDs against us. This is I think we are we not the best defense in the league by all stats at the moment?
Yeah. Probably most of them, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. So I think it's I think 7.5 points
Definitely
per
by
game
points.
and. Yeah, so I don't think it's a case of them folding in the fourth at all. I think it's almost unfair to blame the defense for folding in the fourth when they've held all the other 3 quarters together, but not to turn around to the offense and say, you only scored in the second quarter. You can't have 4 quarters in the game and only get 3 points in the second quarter. That's an offensive problem, not a defensive one.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm not blaming the defense. I'm just saying that right now the offense is inept, and we need them to step up. They're the better unit.
Yeah.
They're the leaders out there right now. We need them as much as they've done. The team needs them to do more if they want to win. That's all I'm saying.
One turnover, one short field really would have helped.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, it was a really bizarre game, and of course there's that stupid thing about playing those Rams at home, wherever they call home, which just is a disaster. Matt, every year, no matter where they're at, it's like they don't play in a stadium, they play in a Twilight Zone. What's the deal?
Let me tell you, we have this game had everything. The stars were aligned for it. It's the first game back in Los Angeles with the Rams for 22 years. It's a divisional game. It's a huge rivalry really between us. Play each other very hard all the time. So all of this is in this game so far. This game should have been one of those games which goes down in history as being, the grand return of the Rams to Los Angeles. And instead, what it really turned into is a slowish game of field position. So it suddenly became a game which neither side wanted to lose, as opposed to a game that neither side wanted to win.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough. I don't feel that there was enough risks taken by us, really, especially when we got to the sort of third and fourth quarter. By that point, we needed to make magic happen, and this was Harry Potter without a wand. This was just poor in the sense there was no magic on that field. So it had all the opportunity to be a memorable game. But you can tell. I always look at these games back, and I went onto NFL.com and I had a look at the highlight reel. And when you look at the highlight reel, and all you're really seeing is just basic plays. Tell that the highlights, that those are not highlights; those are just plays. That's all you're showing me. It's that sort of game, I'm afraid. But we shouldn't be surprised. We always play us hard. We always play each other hard. It's a defensive matchup. It's a field position game, and sometimes they're just not the best games to watch. And this time we came out on the losing end of that. But this is only 6 points, 6 points difference. This is not a blowout. This is not a case of us being, 50 points adrift. This is a case of us just being on the wrong side of 6 points.
And that's with us playing with virtually no offensive line. Rawls getting hurt and being out. Baldwin missing parts of the game. Lockett missing a lot of the game. Yep. I mean, we were undermanned for a good part of it.
Yep. And I think Christine Michael had another good game. Okay, he had that awkward fumble, which wasn't his fault. So you sort of have to put that out of your mind. But I think he's going to be. I don't want to spoil it, but I think he's going to be one of the keys to our game coming up.
He was probably the most effective part of our offense.
Probably him and Lockett on the deep ball. I think you could say, because
that was one play. But Chris Michael was in the run game. He was the only one really doing much of anything. I mean, Rawls was 7 carries for -7 yards.
And I feel bad for Rawls because he's running hard. I don't know what the deal is. It's like every time Rawls gets the ball, there are 3 jerseys around him that aren't his. I feel bad because I don't know. I don't feel like Rawls is playing poorly. I just feel like he's getting like the worst time to run the ball or something. I don't know.
But I don't think Rawls is playing poorly. I just think Christine's playing well. I mean, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Well, and what I said real quick before we go on to the prediction or the caption of the picture, and what I said was I think that this game with the Rams really being the front four being really aggressive kind of suited Michael because he's smaller and he makes himself very small when he goes up the middle. And I thought it would be a better game for him anyway because he can kind of disappear behind those linemen. And when those guys are aggressively coming across the line, he could go right by him. And I think that happened a couple times.
Oh, yeah, especially in the third quarter when he busted off those 2 big runs back to back. One of those, at least one of those was a draw play, and they rushed 5 guys. They all went right past.
They sure did. They went right past him. You're right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So okay. So let's put this game to bed. It's a loss. We don't like to dwell on losses, but before we do, we like to caption that picture. Caption that picture is when we take a picture from the week before, and we try to put a caption with it. This is a picture of Jeff Fisher, and the reason I picked this picture is because it's Jeff Fisher, but there's this ominous defensive lineman standing behind him, so there's a lot of opportunity, I think, to make a good caption for this picture. So, Will, caption that picture.
Coach, he said I was sorry. I'm not talking to you, Michael.
It does look like that a little bit. A little love story going on. Dustin, caption that picture.
This one's from the heart. Fuck you, Jeff Fisher.
Well, all right
Okay,
then. A lot of heart in that one. And kids, if you're listening, that was not what you thought I heard. Matt, caption that picture.
So mine is, hey Pete, see Mike Brocker here? Defensive tackle. He's got more offensive players than you have today.
All right, I got two. First one is Fisher saying, hey, get Goodell on the phone. We need to schedule these guys at least 6 more times this year. And the last one is, it's almost Halloween. So I wanted to go a little scary here. So this is Mr. Fisher. We've traced the defensive lineman. He's right behind you. Ah!
Nice.
The calls are coming from inside the sideline.
Yes, the defensive lineman is coming from inside the huddle. Okay. All right, let's go to our 2-minute warning.
Holy shit, it's a 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning. We're going to check how we're doing on our prediction challenge, of course. The scores from last week. Mark Ty Turner was actually very close. He said 9-6 Rams.
Yep.
9-3 Rams. Got to give him
Right.
4 points for that. Dustin
yeah.
said, I think you said 9 for the Rams, I believe. Did you not?
I'm quite sure, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
he
3
was
for
real
you.
happy about that.
Prognostications, we're going to give 3 points to Statsman, Mark, and Jose. The game ball I gave to Clark, Fred Clark, he had 2 sacks. We'll get that one. Everybody was under, except for Statsman, Mark. So the scores look like this right now for the week. Mark Ty Turner was the big winner at 6, Dustin at 5, Jose at 5, Will at 2, Statsman, Mark at 3, everybody else at 2, and that means our individual scores, Dustin still in the lead, 15-10, over Jose
Yeah,
and Mark.
boy.
Mark Ty Turner, and I am at the bottom at 2. So, Matt, you're not at the bottom yet, but it'll happen. And our team scores, of course, in our Posse Challenge. Team 12 is still leading Team Posse 38-33. So,
Early in the season.
guys, I'm telling you, if they win this, I think
We
we should
gotta
have
step
them
it
do
up.
their own show. They should do their own show.
Let's do their own show.
Yeah,
think
get
they
off our podcast.
At 3 in the morning.
Oh,
that not what
trash
you meant?
talk starting. Well, I was going to get all bitter like Columbus. I was going to start blaming you guys for this because, hey, I've got 2 points. I'm doing all I can to help.
That's not a lot. I mean, good job.
I
Good
was waiting
job.
for that.
Everybody's trying really hard.
Everybody gets everyone's a winner. Everyone gets a
All right,
trophy.
Dustin. See? He gets
No
all
blame,
cocky.
no shame. But it's
He
Moses'
gets all
fault.
cocky. He wins. He's leading the prediction challenge. He's leading the trivia thing now. And now all of a sudden, Mr. Diva there, going, "Hey guys, you're trying. I appreciate it. Thanks, Tiger."
He's the Tom Brady of the 12-man
Right?
banjo.
I know.
I wish
No,
I
he
had
hasn't been
that hair.
suspended yet.
It's like, Dennis, did you get 2 points this week? That a boy. Good job.
Look at you playing the game.
Hey,
Oh,
speaking of
gosh.
games, it's halftime.
Holy shit, it's
And
halftime.
what do we do at halftime? We
We let
play
Dustin
a
win.
game. Dustin wins. Coming up, how will the Seahawks win Sunday? Do the 49ers stand a chance? Boxers or briefs? All these answers and more around the corner. But first, another edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia coming up next.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
This is Dustin. Thanks for listening.
Hello? I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity. Oh, thank you, me, and welcome to another edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia
of the world.
The trivia game that tests the knowledge of both our posse and our listeners. Our contestants are the posse themselves, Will, Matt, and Dustin, and here are the rules. So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-man Fan Jam Show Trivia Champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline. Before taping this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take the quiz as well. If the contestants want to know what the kids said, they can ask that but once and only once during the entire game show and only in the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. Alright guys, you know the rules. They've been brought out to you and you know where they are, so I'm not going to go into that. We have 2 rounds of questions. How's that for an answer? I don't care, I'm going with it. 2 rounds of questions. And we're going to let the champ here, Mr. Diva, Dustin the Diva. You want 1, 2, or 3, Dustin?
3.
Alright. Matt, 1 or 2?
I have 1. Why not? Get out of the way.
1. And that gives Will 2. Of course, 2 of these questions are about the Seahawks and the 49ers, and one of them, of course, is not. And guess what, Matt?
What?
You have the question that isn't about football. Here we go. Question 1 is this. According to most historical accounts, where did the California Gold Rush officially start? Was it at Marshall's Mill, at Stevens Mill, or at Sutter's Mill? And there's some Oregon for you! California Gold Rush. Marshall's Mill, Stevens Mill, Sutter's Mill.
Now I'm gonna ask the kids because I'm gonna hope. Yeah, because I hope that you've given them a lot of like American history, and so I'll ask the kids.
Well, the fact that they both didn't answer the same should tell you something.
Tells you a lot about that household, doesn't it?
Mosette said Marshall's Hill, and Little Mo said Sutter's Mill. Marshall's Hill and Sutter's Mill. Little Mo said Sutter's Mill. Mosette said Marshall's Hill. Nobody said Stevens Mill.
You know, Mosette is old or experience. I'll go with Marshall's.
He's going with the older Mosette, who said Marshall's Mill. And,
You must have been thinking about the coach.
You should have gone with Little Mo because it was Sutter's Hill.
Oh, was it?
Hill.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's Sutter's Hill. Could be Sutter's Hill.
Yep.
Anyway, he knew it. Okay, well, Matt, no luck there. Will, here you go.
Finally, a football question.
You got a football question, yes.
I got both of the non-football questions last week, so...
We appreciate you, Will.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow. The 49ers have played in Seattle 19 times. 19 times. How many of those times did the 49ers score more than 20 points against the Seahawks? Was it 6, 8, or 10 times out of 19? 20 points or more in 19 games in Seattle. 6, 8, or 10?
Can I go back to the non-football questions?
Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to go with 6.
He went with 6. Mosette and Little Mo said 8. You said 6. You got it!
Yay.
Woohoo!
6 times. That's 6 out of 19 times in their history. That's pretty amazing because, you know, they did play with, like, Steve Young and Jerry Rice a couple times. That's crazy.
I'm guessing those were 2 of the 6.
Probably. I would think so. Will is on the board now. Dustin, are you ready to defend your championship? All right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Dustin, the last time the Seahawks lost to the 49ers in Seattle, it was 2011. We had a quarterback by the name of Tavares Jackson at that time. How many times was Tavares Jackson sacked in that game? 2, 3, or 4?
Too many times, if I recall.
Probably.
I don't know. I'll say he got sacked. Like I said, too many times. I'll go with 4.
You'll go 4. Little Mo and Mosette said 2. You said 4. You got it. 4 times. Well.
Because my arm hurts. My bicep, or it was his pec that hurt that whole season, wasn't it?
Yeah, torn pectoral muscle.
Torn pec.
Yeah.
Giants game, he calls that, though.
Yeah, very sad. And yeah, what a game that was. Anyway, all right. We're on round 2, and the score is Will and Dustin 1, Matt 0. So Dustin, 4, 5, or 6?
6.
Dustin's going with 6. Will?
5.
That leaves Matt with 4.
Yay.
All right, Matt. And like last time, there are 2 questions about football and 1 not about football. Matt?
Yes.
Your question is not about football. All right. Your question is this. About how much does the world's largest gold bar weigh in pounds? And when I say pounds to you, we're not talking about the stupid money. In pounds, how much does the world's largest... I hope you get this. How much does the world's largest gold bar weigh? 250 pounds, 400 pounds, or 550 pounds? I can't wait to see you get this right.
It's a lot of gold.
You were so close last week with the miles. You can do the pounds.
Yeah.
How the hell am I ever going to know that? Say it again.
You can't ask the kids
again.
How much does the world's largest gold bar weigh in pounds? About 250, about 400, or about 550?
550.
Okay.
Might as well go big, mightn't you? If you're going to have big, you might
Go
as
big
well
or
Go
go
big or
home,
go
right?
home.
Little Mo and Mosette said 250, and they're from America, and we weigh things in pounds here. You went 550, and you weigh them in, I don't know, hands or feet or whatever the hell. Stones. And guess what?
Wow.
You got it right!
Oh my goodness. Well, there we
Nice
go.
job.
That's fair.
Nice job.
Matt
Bloody
gets very
hell.
close on anything that has to do with miles.
You know what's
or
really
pounds.
frustrating though? Moses, I spend literally all week thumbing through all the stats on football games, ready to answer football questions, and you ask me some nonsense about weights and measures.
Oh, yeah, that's too bad. That really is. Hey, Will,
Yes, sir.
you get a football question. Stick your tongue out at Matt, and here we go.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Last year, when the Seahawks played the 49ers in Seattle, who had more than 1 touchdown reception for the Seahawks? Was it Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett, or Thomas Rawls? One of them had 2 touchdown receptions. Was it Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett, or Thomas Rawls? And I want to... Well, go ahead.
And you want to what?
I'll tell you after you answer.
Okay.
Baldwin, Lockett, or Rawls. One of them had 2 touchdowns against the 49ers last year in Seattle.
I'll go Baldwin.
He's going to go Baldwin. Little Mo and Mosette both said Tyler Lockett. You said Baldwin. It was Tyler Lockett. And I want to brag on Little Mo, because when I asked Little Mo this question, he looked at me and he said, "It's Lockett," before I even gave him the answers. I said, how do you know that? He goes, because he was on my fantasy team last year, and I remember against the 49ers, I got a lot of points. So,
Nice.
but he knew. He was like, "It's Lockett." All right, Dustin. You can take the lead here. How many times have the Seahawks in their history shut out the San Francisco 49ers? Once, twice, or 3 times?
3 times a lady.
And I love this
Twice or
question.
3 times. I'll go 2.
You going 2?
Yeah, I'll go 2.
Mosette went 2. Little Mo went 3. Yep.
Nice.
2 times. All right,
It's like
guys.
answering C on a test and you don't know the answer. Just
That's
2004
exactly what it
and
is.
2007.
The order will be the following: Matt, Will, and Dustin for the final question. Final question is the number.
Yes.
Whoever gets closest to that number without going over gets 2 points and will crown champion, it looks like. If everyone's over, whoever's the closest to the number will get the 2 points. So here we go. You gentlemen ready? All right.
Yeah.
Final question is this. The Seahawks and the 49ers have played each other in the regular season 34 times. How many total points have the Seahawks scored against the 49ers in 34 games, Matt?
What's the average score would be?
I thought you were going to say wins. I was like, I know how many times they've won.
30 times 3. So I'll say 700
700 what?
795 would be the average.
795. All right.
Yeah.
Will, how many points?
I'll go 680.
680. 795, 680. Dustin?
I'm going to go in the middle somewhere. I'll say 725.
725. So we got 680, we got 725, we got 795, and we have something I think unprecedented in the history of 12-Man Fan Jam Show trivia. The answer is 796, which means Matt was one off.
Holy crap, dude.
And absolutely blew it out of the water
Oh my
to
goodness.
win this week's
I had another good
12-Man
guess
Fan
last
Jam
week as well.
Trivia.
I wish he
Stop
could have
picking
been
lottery
one
numbers.
over, then he wouldn't have gotten it.
One!
Yeah,
I know.
And I thought, oh my God, Dustin's going to go, he's going to price his right him and he's going to hit it on the button.
I don't want to do that 2 weeks in a row.
Oh my God.
So Dustin, how's it feeling over there, hey?
Unbelievable. I'm like stunned right now. I don't even know what to do. Oh my
That
God.
was a hell of a
amazing.
guess, man. Nice job.
Nice.
Woo!
Oh.
Oh my God. This has been a crowd-pleasing, heart-stopping, history-making, award-winning edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia. We'll be back with the second half of this show after station identification.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
Straight up now, shoot me.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
Yes, welcome to the third quarter of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Hey, you! Yes, you, reeling from that amazing guess from Matt in halftime trivia.
It wasn't a guess.
What?
I did a calculation. It wasn't a guess.
It was a guess.
It was a guess.
It's calculation. Anyway, if I'm still reeling. I don't know if I'm going to get through the rest of the show. But anyway, if you're still reeling as well, while you're reeling in unbelievable shock, like or comment on this video. Join us on Facebook at 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page. Email us, tweet us, make us part of your Seahawks fix. Do it now. All the cool kids are doing it. All right. This quarter, we're going to take a longer look at the San Francisco 49ers. And when we do, of course, we're talking about their quarterback, Blaine Gabbert.
Blaine? His name is Blaine? Oh, that's a major appliance. That's not a name.
Never gets old. Okay. Last year, they were 5-11. They were near the bottom, offensively and defensively. But, of course, they did beat the Rams 28-0. We know that. The two meetings last year, Seattle, pretty much San Francisco, just kind of manhandled them 20-3, 29-13. And that was the game that I remember Hauschka missed 2 extra points. So it was almost 31-13 at that point. But, Dr. Dustin, is there an injury for this game we should be concerned about?
Yeah, knee injury. Should be concerned about knee injury. Specifically, Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett.
Okay.
Both of them hurt their knees last week, and problem is the offense isn't playing that well in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
We are short at running back. Offensive line's hobbled. We really can't afford for 2 of our best receivers to not be able to perform at their peak ability right now.
Okay.
So I think that's a huge concern. And Tyler Lockett also affects the special teams field position. So, I mean, when I saw Sherman out there in Paul Richardson, I was not happy. I don't want to see that again. So those 2 guys' knees, that's the key for injuries right now.
What have you heard on him this week at practice? Is there any...
They're both playing, but you just wonder at what level are they going to be able to play? Are they going to be able to plant and cut? Are they going to have that top-end explosiveness? It's hard to tell. If they get dinged just right, are they going to be out for the game?
Well,
it's
and I
tough.
think Baldwin had a MRI that was negative, I believe.
Yeah, he had an MRI, and they said that he's good to go, but you don't know. I mean,
No.
how it's going to affect him out there.
When there's a news done, they say we had an MRI and it's negative. If in Britain, you think to yourself, "Oh, that's really bad news." Then negative MRI, so it's really bad news.
Yeah, bad.
But you guys, as I was like, "Oh, that's really bad news."
No. It's
wait, no, that's
negative
good.
findings. It's negative findings. I mean, they didn't find anything wrong with them.
That's funny, but you're right. I would think that too. Your cancer the test came back, you're negative, and it's like, oh no, I'm with you. That's bad. It's negative, but
Negative is terrible.
yeah, but not in this case. It's good. So I think that's a great point about those knee injuries. Will, I mean, that is going to affect the offense, especially if those guys are hobbling a little bit, won't it?
Yeah, and it's hard to tell with the new injury designation system, getting rid of probable. So now if somebody's questionable, it's like, well, is he the old kind of questionable where he probably wasn't going to play, or the old kind of probable?
Right.
Because Lockett's officially questionable. Baldwin's not even on the injury report.
That's good.
So who knows? But
Yeah.
I think both guys showed a lot of heart coming back out into last week's game. So
Sure
I
did.
agree. I totally agree. And now it's time for Matt with the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Game Time Weather Report. Matt?
Thank you, Moses. Yes, so it's weather report from Seattle for this game. And I've had a little look about, and I've done a little testing. And as I understand, according to NFL, we're looking at temperatures of 73 degrees Fahrenheit, which so the average temperature is going to be that's going to be 20 degrees Celsius, thereabouts, for those of us in the... But it's probably going to be a little bit warmer than that. And do you want to know why, Moses?
Why?
Well, because when the 49er fans turn up, of course, they're all going to be burning different jerseys of their own players. So that extra heat is going to rise and could generate like a mass clouds and stuff and lots of rain. But then, of course, it is Seattle, so we're expecting that anyway. But actually, I've got better news for people in Seattle. I tell you what, it's a day to put your washing and your laundry on an outside era because it's going to be sunny in Seattle.
Oh, fantastic! You put the clothes out to dry. You go to the game. You watch the Seahawks win. You come back. You take your clothes down.
And
you
you're
have a
too
great
drunk.
week.
And you're too drunk to get them in again. Great.
Spectacular, spectacular. Well, it sounds like beautiful weather for football, so that's fantastic. Let's go ahead and finish this quarter and talk about the Seahawks phrase. Will, you know the phrase, and I will give it to you, and then you can tell us what you think. The Seahawks win this game if what?
if they can score some fracking touchdowns.
Yeah, I think so too. And you're not talking field goals. You're talking touchdowns here. I agree. I agree. Dustin, Seahawks win this game if
they can produce turnovers.
Turnovers. All right. What about Matt? Matt, the Seahawks will win this game if
they feed Christian Michael.
Ooh, all right. Feeding Christian Michael.
Like before the game or during the game? You think like he should carb boost or
continually throughout the game?
No.
Well, okay, I'm going to give a little foreshadowing here myself, and I'm going to make a push here in the final couple of minutes of this quarter by saying the Seahawks win this game if they feed their beast. And when I say feed their beast, I'm talking about 88 guys. I'm talking about Jimmy Graham. Remember him? Remember Jimmy Graham?
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
He's on the team?
Exactly. And here's the thing. 3 great catches in that last game. He made something out of nothing. Why we aren't feeding this guy 8 or 10 times a game, I have no idea. Or at least trying to get him the ball. Because I don't blame Jimmy Graham for this, because those 3 catches were very good. He looks like Jimmy Graham. To me, I'm sold. Okay, you look great. Now get out there and get the ball 20 times. Feed Jimmy Graham, please. Somebody tell Bevel that Jimmy Graham's on the team. Please, somebody help him figure this out, because there's nothing better on a blitzing team, which San Francisco is going to do, than to go down 8 yards with a big guy like Jimmy Graham, a superstar like Jimmy Graham, give him the ball and let him turn an 8-yard catch into a 30-yard catch. And that's what he does. So
not only that, remember that he's on the team in the red zone. Somebody should double tap him with that one. Hey, remember that tall guy?
Yes.
Throw it up to him.
Yes.
Him.
Okay.
Have Connor McAvoy.
Since I kind of segued into this, and this is kind of, I want to close on this, and then we'll go to the fourth quarter. But if you could, now we've talked about how the offense, in the words of Will, was, what was it? A brand new, a perfect
perfect
storm of
suck.
suck. Yes. So, Will, you can do one thing with this offense right now to fix things, to make it better. What kind of tweaking would you do? One thing.
Oh,
I'm gonna
gosh.
need some rules here, man. What's the leeway with how magical can we be here?
Well, you can't bring in a 500-pound lineman. It's what you got.
I'm
What
just
do you
saying.
do? Either a play call or a formation or something.
Okay, all right.
So,
we can't
Will, if you
magically
could do
heal
one
things.
thing with this offense to help ease the pain, what would it be?
Run over Jamarcus Webb with a truck.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Vicodin would help with the pain probably, but
That is probably not a bad idea. I am not impressed with Mr. Webb. Matt, what would you do if you could do one thing?
Little ankle massage here and there. Just to
Yeah.
make that work.
Cue the
Or put
foot
him on
massage
wheels.
monologue
Actually,
in
Russell-
Fiction.
Yeah.
Russ could be on
Foot
a, Russ,
massage. Yeah.
Russ could be on a proper Segway, actually, so he can just like zoom around and throw the ball.
he's gonna
Oh,
go
dear.
like X Games on his Segway to get away from defenders.
Or, or one of those old people's mobility scooters, you know, where they sit down and with a little basket on the front, and he can just throw the
Back
ball.
pass. Beep, beep, beep.
Nice.
little clown car at the circus.
That would be amazing.
Nice.
Honk honk.
Oh my God, a foot massage. Would you give Russell Wilson a foot massage? All right.
Screw you.
All right, Dustin. What
Yeah.
you got?
I would fix something that's been bugging me for years and say inside the 10-yard line, if we find ourselves in that position, maybe put the tall guys in. Maybe Connor McAvoy, Luke Wilson, Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
Put Graham and McAvoy out doing fades to the opposite corners. Let Russell toss it up to one side or the other. Maybe put Luke in some kind of crossing pattern across the field. Give him that an option. Instead of trying to throw fades to receivers that are like 5'10", 5'9".
Right. Thank you.
Oh, gosh.
That's what I would fix.
The Kansas City game 2 years ago when they tried to throw that fade to Doug Baldwin.
Yeah.
That was the corner of the end zone I was sitting in. And I'm just watching that. It's like you're trying to throw a fade to Doug Baldwin.
Yeah.
When did they do it last game?
No, I was just thinking there. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it worked last time. But yeah, taller guys, please.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
especially
agree.
the closer you get to the end zone.
To me, I don't know, guys. I thought Jimmy Graham looked good. I was really worried, but he seemed. And then, that guy, it don't matter if he's covered or not. Feed him the ball. He can be a spectacular player if you allow him to be. But did he have more than 3 targets? Maybe 4 or 5? Not many. Not many targets, I don't think, for 88.
Didn't get looked at in the red zone when they were running routes inside the end zone. That was frustrating.
Yeah, let's get him going. Now, one thing I did like real quick, and then we'll go to break. It looks to me, and I know that he's probably done this in the past, but what I thought would happen is happening in that when Carroll came here, he was kind of known in USC offensively. They like to use 3 tight ends, and they like to bring those tight ends and maybe take 1 or 2 and flank them out or bring them all together. I saw a lot of 3 tight end formations out of Seattle, especially last week, and maybe that's to help the offensive line, probably. But I like the fact that we got those 3 tight ends, and they're versatile enough where we can flank them out as receivers or bring them in for a run. And, Jimmy's still not the best blocker in the world, but, man, he's better than he's been. He's getting there. But I don't want him blocking anyway. I want him going down to the field, catching the ball, running people over, and scoring. Because that's what that guy does. We got to let him do it, though.
He's like the Moses of the show. We like it when he hosts. I mean, he tries to play the games. He's out there. He's like Jimmy Graham's the blocker.
He's the most.
He's always positive.
Man, I'm mutiny on my own show. Look, Dustin, you didn't three-peat, so you can get off the high horse, all right?
That's true. I did not three-peat.
Yeah, so how's it feeling over there, Dustin?
No, you know what? Tipping my hat to
Steve
you. That was a hell of a guess. I got nothing.
Guess.
Calculation. All right,
man.
All right, you two. We're going to separate these guys before we do one to third quarter.
It's the end of the third quarter, bitches.
All right, that'll end the third quarter. Coming up, I'll separate those two guys We're going to make our predictions, prognostications, and game balls for this week's game against the 49ers. You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, now ribbed for her pleasure. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, dear.
Wow.
With wings.
Hi, I'm Rosette, and you're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show.
Well,
And now it's time for a 60-second rant.
you know you make me wanna
Rant. I don't want to get off on a rant here.
Hey everybody, Statsman Mark here to discuss Seahawks 49ers. And the timing of this game is a bit more interesting than I would have originally thought, given how both teams are 1-1. Seattle's offense has struggled quite a bit the first 2 weeks. The 49ers, meanwhile, had a nice high-scoring win on their end against the Rams, 28-0, and they even managed to hang with the Carolina Panthers in Week 2 before things fell apart in the fourth quarter. Seattle gets to host this game. Historically, we beat the pants off the 49ers when we do so, and I more or less see that happening again. So the Seahawks win this game if they just go back to playing Seahawk football. Early momentum, some early points on the board. I would like to see some quick passes, some quick routes to get the ball out of Russell Wilson's hands faster than we've seen the first 2 weeks. And we should be fine. And that said, I do see us winning this game 31-13. I see Tyler Lockett having 2 receiving touchdowns, and Tyler Lockett will in fact receive my game ball.
Holy shit, it's the fourth quarter.
Ah, yes, it's time for the fourth and final quarter of this episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. It's time. I do that for myself now, I guess. Anyway, it's time to have another quick top 3. Because you know how much you love
Hello,
me.
sailor.
Hello, sailor.
Oh, dear.
Ah, yes. Hello.
Good night, everybody.
Sailor. You like what you see? All right. Let's have another. Let's bring the laughter down now with my top 3. Here we go. Another top 3 from me. You know it's going to be awesome.
This will kill all humour. Right?
Yeah, let's get the hold on, get the crickets going. To get the crickets ready. All right, top 3. So from our office located in them thar hills, I tells ya, come the top 3 ways Gold and 49er fans are different. Of course, the 49er fans, 49ers, Gold Rush. But Gold and 49er fans are very different. For example, number 3, Gold is actually edible. I did not know that, but Gold is edible.
Gross.
But don't ever swallow anything a 49er fan's trying to tell you.
See what you did there?
Yeah.
Gold is edible?
Gold is edible, yeah.
You know, had gold flake vodka.
Oh, yeah, they have a Goldschlager.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, they have, and I did not know that. At number 2, the Greeks thought that gold was a dense combination of water and sunlight. The NFL thinks that 49er fans are just dense. So there's a connection there. And finally, the biggest difference between gold and the 49er fans. Olympic gold medals contain just 1.34% of pure gold. 49er fans contain just 1.34% of their brain function. So,
generous.
Yes. Let's move on to the game now. The current line, as we sit and breathe, is Seattle 9.5-point favorites, which is crazy. Wow. The over and under for our purposes will be 39.5 points total. Quick disclaimer, these numbers have been presented for entertainment purposes only. The 12-Man Fan Jam Show does not endorse betting on anything at any time. Please don't take this or anything we ever say on this show seriously ever in our lives. So, let's make our predictions. Here's how scoring this year will be tabulated. You see the prognostications, the game balls, the predictions, the over-under. And Team 12 is still playing Team Posse. So let's start with Team 12 picks. Little Mo, Seahawks 38-3. Kristen Michael 2 touchdowns, and Michael his game ball. Jose's picks, prediction 20-10. Prognostication, he says, the appliance breaks down and throws a pick. Who's the appliance?
Blaine? His name is Blaine? Oh, that's a major appliance. That's not a name.
There's your appliance. Blaine Gabbert with an interception and giving the ball to Tyler Lockett because no secondary can and the 49ers can cover him. All right. Tom, 28-3 Hawks. C. Mike will get his first 100-yard rushing game. I give my game ball to C. Mike as well. Mike Pascal of Game Buzz fame, 16-13 Seattle. Seattle with 3 sacks, getting 3 sacks. And game ball to Baldwin. Mark Ty Turner. Hawks 20-10. Seahawks defense will get a turnover and game ball to KJ Wright. And now it's time for Team Posse. Of course, Mark had presented his at the start of the fourth quarter. Seahawks win if they go back to Seahawk football. More quick passes. 31-13 Seattle. Tyler Lockett, 2 receiving touchdowns as his prognostication, and that's who he's giving his game ball to. All right, Matt.
Yes.
The mighty 4 points. Game ball, score, prediction, prognostication, all that fun stuff. What you got?
Those are the less than mighty 2 points. I'm thinking that it's going to be Seahawks 27, Niners 10.
Okay.
I think this is going to be the game where we get a little bit of something firing on the offense. I think I'm going to give it to Christine Michael because I think they should feed him.
Okay.
Feed the Michael.
Feed the Michael.
And I'm going to say he'll get his 100 yards and he'll get 1 touchdown.
100 yards, 1 touchdown. Okay, you have to hit both of those, you know.
I know, but I like to be, make a prediction.
Well, when you've got 4 points, you can do that. Dustin!
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You?
All right. You fell off your chair. You fell off your pedestal there. You all right?
No, Matt's the one that falls off chairs and breaks it.
Oh, that was it. Hey, kids. Matt fell off the chair. Yeah, twice. Oh,
Not this
Dustin
season,
for the
I
win
have.
tonight. All right, Dustin, what'd you got?
Well, Seahawks usually play pretty well against 49ers, especially at home. So I'm going to say Seahawks are going to score 31. They're going to give up 13. Game ball, I'm going to say, is going to go to that's a tough one. I'll say Russell gutting it out and throwing multiple touchdowns, so we'll give it to him. And I think Tyler Lockett is going. My prognostication is that Tyler Lockett's going to get a touchdown in the return game this game.
Okay, 1 TD return for Lockett. Will, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Moses. How are you?
I'm not unwell myself there. What are your predictions for this game, sir?
Well, actually, Mark stole my prognostication and game ball, and so I'm kind of having to make those up on the fly.
You could still do it.
No, I want to be a little different. So,
okay.
My score prediction is going to be 27-13 Seahawks. I am going to go with Wilson for the game ball because he was my backup.
Okay.
Even though Dustin.
Yeah, Dustin did, but that's all right.
But hey, nothing wrong with that, especially if we're right, because that helps our team.
Yeah, if we're right, that's probably a good sign. But for prognostication, I'm going to say that Seattle's defense is going to get its first interception, but the player getting the interception will be a defensive lineman.
Ooh. Defensive lineman interception. That's crazy. All right. Well, I guess it's down to me now. There is no place like home, at least the Seahawks hope so. Hey, let's get the Rams to move to the East next time so the NFL can do some realignment and get them out of our conference. But until that happens, we got some more to do here. This week, in effort to promote what I feel is a neglected member of the Seahawk offense, I am making a deemed prediction. Watch my game ball, Jimmy Graham, finally get noticed by the Seahawks offense and take over this game. Watch Jimmy Graham and his two touchdown catches, my prognostication. Watch the defense give up less than 88 total yards. No prognostication, just getting the point across. And watch the Seahawks rebound with some delicious home cooking, courtesy of the 49ers, by a score of Seattle Seahawks 23, San Francisco 13. All right. Well, it looks like it's time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12-man Fan Jam show to a sad close. We are so glad you decided to waste some time with us. We certainly hope you laughed a little and just maybe learned a little something along the way. What did we learn on this show at this time? Well, we learned a lot. We learned what Terrell Pryor would do for a win. We learned who's unhappy at 0-2. And we learned who's willing to give Russell Wilson a lengthy ankle foot massage. And on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt, our new sound Shadowhawk Will, Statsman Mark, Dustin as the Beaver, Roger Goodell, Mosette, Little Mo, Buddy Hackett, Jerry Rice, Sheila McRae, Blaine, Ducky, Art Carney. Good night, everybody, and go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Blaine? His name is Blaine? Oh, that's a major appliance. That's not a name.